Good morning, Monday morning, and a quick little GFF Guy Football Focus grading review from the Niners Raiders game on Sunday. Before we all get on with our days, if you're watching this live on Monday morning, have a good day. If you're watching this after the fact, like most of you will, great. Either way, please subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Appreciate that. Helps the whole thing grow. And don't forget, we are sponsored by our friends at Tito's Handmade Vodka, crafted to be savored responsibly. Big week ahead. So if you're having a Tito's, and however you like to have it, with a little ginger, with a little just lime and water, maybe a little lemonade and iced tea at John Daly, or whatever else, send us photos, tag us in your photos. Enjoy your Tito's coffee this morning, coffee straight. All right, let's get on with it very quickly. Here we go. Reminder, this is the updated Guy Football Focus, GFF, using the PFF, Pro Football Focus grading scale. 0 graded throws, what you're supposed to do. You can go as good as +2, as bad as -2, with negative and positive increments at 0.5. And yesterday, after the game with John, I threw my grades up, and I got a few DMs from people that said, "Hey, can you throw those back up?" Or I didn't get to look at them. And there has been an adjustment to the grading. So this is what I put up. This is actually close to what I put up yesterday. Upon review, changed this score a little bit for Trey. But as you can see, the 0 throws are in black. The positive throws are in green. The negative throws are in red. The final grade updated since Sunday night. I did a review this morning, updated from a -0.5 to a -1. And the reason I changed it was Josh Dubow sent me a note. He said, "I'm listening to a PFF podcast from Sunday night," and I went and listened to it. He's correct. They have not yet, as of this morning, PFF has not yet put out its grades from this game. But one of the hosts of the show said that the Trey Lance touchdown throw was actually a -1.5 throw. I graded it as a -1 throw, but I'm still learning their grading scale. And the reason I want to use their grading scale is because we've got this whole database of information that they put out. And if you can go through a practice or through a preseason game and kind of just get a general idea, then you have something to compare it to. So this is not perfect, still learning it, but this is what it is. So that took the grade down. It didn't change the percentage of good throws. You can see there in green at the bottom for Trey, 73% good throw grade, 11 good throws, 4 bad throws. But I just wanted to do this to kind of show my work and go through it, so people know when they're talking about what I said, why I wrote, now there are, if it's not a throw, it's not graded. But like watching the game again today, the first sack that Trey took, that live, I thought that happened so fast. That was all the offensive line's fault. Watching it again, he basically gets to his third read. He's got Conley in the flat, just coming out of his break. He doesn't pull the trigger. He's got Ronnie Bell to the left, just about to turn around, doesn't pull the trigger. Then he comes to the middle. That's at least what it looked like. It's hard without being able to see that kind of back view, the end zone view. But like that's a play that doesn't get graded. But I would imagine, like my guess on it live, offensive line's fault. After the fact, I bet Kyle Shanahan tells me he should have thrown the football. So anyway, but those are things we just, we can't totally know. So the negative throws in red, Charlie Warner over the middle. Now, this was a tough play, actually, when you watch it again, because Charlie Warner turns around and stops, and Trey kind of leads him, but it doesn't work either way. Dwelly in the flat, that was a bad throw. That was a bad throw. It was actually a worse throw than the Warner throw. Maybe the Warner throw's a 0 throw. It might have been. Good throws to Fumagalli and Conley. The scramble play to Snead. That was a nice play. Watching it again, very good awareness. I watched the Raiders broadcast back today because that's what's on NFL Plus. And Gannon goes, "Did he cross the line of scrimmage?" But he wasn't. So it was good awareness there. And then this is where you see the change. The negative throw in the end zone goes from a -1 to a -1.5 based on, the other thing that I did not add to that yesterday, it was not just a baby zone interception, as we call it. Ironically, it was Rich Gannon a few years ago on a broadcast. For those of you, a lot of you have been new to the show since then. The reason we call the red zone the baby zone is because Rich Gannon said, once upon a time on TV, that he had a coach who told him, and we guessed, that's a Gruden. We had a coach who told him, I think, better to die a child than turn the ball over in the end zone, which is a crazy thing to say, but it's a coach thing to say, so it's not that crazy. Yesterday, by the way, there was something Gannon said on the broadcast. I had a coach who once said to me, blah, 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 whatever it was. And it was kind of like edgy. And I kept waiting. Is nobody going to say, oh, was it John? But of course, now on a Raiders broadcast, you can't bring up John Gruden. But there's Rich Gannon doing the game, but he can't tell stories about Gruden. Avoided the sack, made a sideline throw to Warner. I thought that was a really nice play. That was a good job by Warner, kind of faked down the sideline, then came back. Conley over the middle. Jordan Mason had a drop. So those are the 0 throws. These are separated by possession. He starts that last drive of the half traded with that near interception over the middle. That's a negative 0.5. I don't know. Maybe PFF has that as a -1, but negative 0.5. Plus throw to Conley. Fumagalli over the middle. He made a really nice play on it. And then the out of bounds throw in the end zone. So there's the final grade for him. There's showing my work. Wanted to rake you through it. Sam Darnold, 37-yard throw out in under 2.5 seconds. Did you catch that? That throw was out in like 2-1, although it felt even faster. Perfect. You know, I gave you the stat the other day that Sam Darnold, and you have to filter for like 20% of throws, because if you filter for quarterbacks who threw, like half of their team's throws, he doesn't qualify. But when you filter for 20%, I'll repeat it, 71% of his throws came when he held the ball for over 2.5 seconds. That, by that filter standard, highest in the NFL. His completion percentage dropped by about 19% when he goes from throws under 2.5 to over 2.5. A lot of people's percentages drop, by the way, when you go over 2.5. But here's the other Darnold stat. Darnold last year, again, with those filters, led the NFL in deep throw completion percentage. Throws of over 20 yards. He was number 1 in the league in completion percentage. I think Tua was 2. I got to find the exact number. It was around like 56% or so for him. So good deep ball thrower for Darnold based on those numbers. Didn't put a lot of air on it, but it was perfect. Nice catch by Ronnie Bell. Sideline throw. I wrote Isaiah. I miswrote it here. Isaiah Winstead. That's Isaiah Winstead, who I've told you I think has flashed a few times in camp. That was a 0 throw. Tay Martin, really strong throw outside the numbers, +0.5. Easy kind of rolls left, sidearm, +0.5 to Latu, who I wrote dropped it here, but he fumbled it. I'm writing as this game's going. Ronnie Bell, 0 throw, incomplete. Linebacker got a hand on it, so he disrupted the ball. So that was not a Ronnie Bell drop. It was a chance for Ronnie Bell to make a sweet play, but it was a risky throw. It was not a near interception. The linebacker had to make a really good play. So I gave that a 0. Throwaway flush, a 0. And then the last throw, that might have been a 0. Much like I said on the tray with Charlie Warner, that could have been a 0. I don't know. But I gave him a negative 0.5. He might have been throwing it away. It was a third down. I don't know. But I gave him a 0.5 negative. But a +2 final grade, 7 good throws, maybe 1 bad throw, maybe just the decision to get rid of the ball. But from, what my guess was there, 88% good throw grade for Sam Darnold. So there's the work. There's the grading. iPad grading for me, like that. And also keep a log of the game on the computer. But anyway, there were some quick thoughts. Here's some of you. Ronnie Bell was damn good. Ronnie Bell looked like I kind of thought he would look based on the way he's looked in practice, where he's performed in one-on-ones. He's gotten better as training camp went on. Niners off today. They'll be back tomorrow. He's performed in one-on-ones. He's gotten a few opportunities in team, but not as many. But you knew, not that Ray would have played in that game anyway, but now without Ray, he's got an opportunity. I think Danny Gray kind of has to respond. The good news for Danny Gray in the receiver battle is that Deshaun Jameson looked like the better returner yesterday. And so, if Ronnie Bell had put together kind of Deshaun Jameson's returns plus what he did catching the ball, you'd really feel like he's putting himself in great position to make the 53-man roster. As it is, he's putting himself in position to make the 53. Eric says, your grades for Trey Lance were way too kind. Maybe. I really, really try when I do it to take out let's just talk about the throws. What these grades don't account for are the non-throws. And non-throws are graded plays too, right? Kyle Shanahan is 100% going to say you should have thrown the ball. Like I said when I started this, I thought that first play should have got rid of the football. But these are just the throws. I don't think the only throws in question here to me is the first Charlie Warner throw could have been a 0. The Dwelly miss in the flat could have been a -1 instead of -0.5. I don't really think there's much debate here on the rest of these. So I don't think the grades were too kind, actually, now that I relook at them. They weren't too kind. They were fair. One could have been kinder, one could have been harsher. And these are just the throws. But I think again, we don't know just without the All-22, without the end zone view, without knowing what he's supposed to do. There's so many other factors when it comes to those sacks. But I will say, the first play of the game, I kind of gave him a pass on. When I watched it again this morning, I thought, yeah, he had time he should have got rid of the ball. Fair grades. Yeah, fair grades. Moody better fix it or Robbie will be called. Well, they got or Zane Gonzalez, but it doesn't happen that. The question is, do they try to keep Zane Gonzalez around? You'd think he's too good to be kept around, but Latu not good either for a high pick. No, and I thought Moody's hit big long kicks in practice, but he's only missed a couple. You don't get a lot of opportunities. The ones he'd missed, the fact that he had pulled them made me a little nervous. Latu, his first miss, Moody's, was I thought a continuation of the way he's missed when he's missed in practice. Latu's play was a continuation of the way he's looked in practice. We'd have to check with the guys who keep track of every throw in terms of complete who caught it. And a lot of the beat writers do that. It feels to me like Willis has caught the ball more in training camp than Latu has. But when I go out there tomorrow, I'll check with people because it felt like Willis made a tackle late in the game on special teams yesterday. Braden Willis. So also a rookie. Pete, Lance, 2 nice downfield throws, nice ad lib, not athletic, quick, not good, but could be worse. C-. Darnold, B+. Decisive, few questionable decisions, miscommunications. Yeah, that is a fair question. I think one of the questions would be, like, if you had time to recap the whole game with Kyle, 2 formation penalties. Were they both Zay Martin's fault? Was one of them Cameron Latu's fault? Should the quarterback have fixed both of them? If Kyle Juszczyk is out there, he probably fixes both of those things. Would Jimmy have fixed those things? Is that on Sam? Pre-snap penalties? Part of the quarterback's job is to get guys lined up. Michael, what's up, man? Says not ideal from Moody, but I'd rather have him miss in the preseason like that than week 1 against the Steelers. Yeah, agree. But with kickers, you always kind of worry, is this thing, his heart had to be beaten out of his chest, right? NFL debut. But you kind of wonder, you just hope. That's not wonder. You hope it doesn't. Let's watch practice this week. Is he hitting kicks? Okay, now we go back into the bright lights, come back home. Is he hitting kicks? We can get to Pittsburgh week 1, and this can be a distant memory. That's what you hope. He's got time to make it a distant memory. He kind of needs to make it a distant memory here quickly. Greeny says Moody's confidence looks shot. Get Robbie on the phone. Scott says MMQB has some great quotes on the Niners' faith in Purdy. Darnold was definitely an injury hedge for both QBs. I've not read that yet. I'll look forward to reading it. But, I mean, if you're Brock coming back from that elbow and you think about just whatever pressure he might feel, as he's still rehabbing, as he's still hurt, they signed Sam Darnold on the first day of free agency. Just put yourself in his shoes. You go, okay, I really need to get back. And if you're Brock and you just look around after that, if you're standing on the sideline watching that preseason game, one game in, we're going to get a couple more, but one game in, Sam Darnold is in the rearview mirror. Just as if Trey had played that way, Trey would be in the rearview mirror because Brock is the starter because he's earned that, but he also has not played half a season, right? Or a full season. So there still is a lot to prove. And, the one thing I'll keep reminding everybody, I think Kyle's been waiting several years to get a chance to just kind of see, could I work with Sam Darnold? And Sam Darnold's a free agent after this year. So he might want to see, can I work with Sam Darnold? And he's only more encouraged after that preseason game. So my point is, like, I believe that they believe in Brock, but Kyle might have an itchy finger when it comes to Sam a little bit. And it'll be interesting to see, like, does Brock play well right out of the gate? And maybe I never mention that again, or does he struggle? Does he not play as efficiently as he did last year? Are we 5 weeks in and they're 3-2? And you just kind of in the back of your mind, you think, is Kyle looking for a reason? I think you have to kind of put in the context of they were looking at quarterbacks before they got Jimmy Garoppolo in a trade. In that QB class, Sam Darnold went third. If they were bad enough, I think they would have drafted Sam. He's been waiting. They signed him on the first day. Then you watch him. Maybe he likes him in practice. Maybe he likes him in the meetings. Then you watch him in the game. You go, that was impressive. So, it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. All of that history. And then there's an expiration date on Sam Darnold right now as a 49ers quarterback because of his contract. All things to keep in mind as the season. That's not for now. That's for later, depending on how Brock plays. But something to keep in mind. Purdy can't be touched. I disagree. I mean, right now he can't. But then the games start, and then he has to. The reason he is in the position he's in is because he played really well last year. If he continues to play that well, he'll continue to be in the position that he's in. Homer says Purdy is elusive, but he looked like poop with that O-line yesterday. Maybe the ball would have come out quicker. We don't know. But we know that, Trey's performance was not good. Micah follows up. Habes. I like Habes with an E. H-A. That's like Habs. Habes. Habes. At Guy Football Focus. Purdy's undisputed because of his playoff wins. Do you really trust Darnold to win or lose you a game? No. We got a long way to go before that scenario that I drew out maybe comes back and is worth discussing again. But I'm just telling you about what's in the back of my mind. I don't trust Darnold. We had a long way to go for trust. But and Purdy is undisputed right now because of what he did. But Kyle's brain, like, you got to keep doing it, right? This is a championship contending team. So if there is a point in the season where their offense does not look like it's holding up its end of the bargain, all those things I said about Sam are just in the back of my mind when it comes to Kyle. Todd asks, when are we going to admit that Trey Lance is terrible and cut our losses? Well, they may be close to that. We'll see. But that was not good yesterday. We know they like Brandon Allen because Kyle has said it. But we'll see. We got a couple more preseason games. As of right now, Darnold is QB2. I agree. Let's see. Any more in to get here before we before we get our week started? All right. Well, there we go. That's our quick grade explanation. pull back the curtain a little bit. Practice on Tuesday. So we'll be getting after that. And more coming up here on the YouTube. Like this video on your way out the door as a way to give yourself some good karma to have a good Monday. So thanks for hanging, everybody. There's a lot to make in the 53. Doesn't feel like it right now. No. All right. Whoop, my bad. Okay. Thanks for hanging. Later.